The Campaign Against the Mamluks. The Crescent Ascends. Introduction. A storm brews in the desert. In the early 16th century, the Middle East was a tapestry of competing powers and ancient rivalries. Among them, the Mamluk Sultanate, based in Cairo, stood as one of the most prestigious Islamic states. For centuries, the Mamluks had ruled over Egypt, Syria, and the Hijaz, guarding the holy cities of Mecca and Medina and serving as custodians of the Islamic world's spiritual heart. Their cavalry had once been the terror of the Crusaders, and their cultural achievements had shone brightly in the Islamic Golden Age. But by the time Sultan Selim I ascended the Ottoman throne in 1512, the Mamluk Sultanate was a shadow of its former self. Internal corruption, economic decline, and military stagnation had weakened their state. Meanwhile, the Ottoman Empire, strengthened by its recent victory over the Safavids at Calderon, was rapidly expanding under Selim's determined leadership. With his ambition to unite the Islamic world under Ottoman rule and secure control over the pilgrimage routes to Mecca, Selim turned his gaze southward. The stage was set for a confrontation that would end centuries of Mamluk dominance and reshape the political and religious landscape of the Islamic world. Prelude to war. The tension between the Ottomans and the Mamluks had been simmering for decades. The Mamluks had forged alliances with the Safavids, the Ottomans' arch-rivals, and their control of key trade routes between the Indian Ocean and the Mediterranean posed a challenge to Ottoman ambitions. Furthermore, the Mamluk-controlled Hijaz was home to Islam's holiest sites, and Selim sought to claim the title of caliph by bringing these lands under his rule. In 1516, Selim dispatched envoys to Cairo, offering an alliance. The Mamluk Sultan, Al-Ashraf Kansa al-Ghori, rejected the proposal, viewing the Ottomans as upstarts unworthy of their rising power. Hostilities became inevitable. Selim prepared meticulously for the campaign. His army, battle-hardened from campaigns against the Safavids, was one of the most advanced in the world. The Ottomans had integrated gunpowder weapons, including cannons and muskets, into their military, while the Mamluks relied heavily on their traditional cavalry, famed for its individual prowess, but ill-equipped for modern warfare. The first confrontation, the Battle of Marj Dabiq. The campaign began with a march into Syria, a vital region under Mamluk control. Selim's army crossed into Mamluk territory in August 1516, and the two forces met at Marj Dabiq, near Aleppo. The Ottomans, numbering around 60,000 troops, faced a similarly sized Mamluk army. The Mamluk cavalry, known for its valor, launched several charges against the Ottoman lines. However, Selim's use of disciplined janissaries, supported by field artillery and gunpowder musketeers, proved decisive. The Mamluk formations were devastated by Ottoman cannon fire, and their charges faltered under musket volleys. The turning point came when Kansa al-Ghori was killed on the battlefield, plunging the Mamluk army into chaos. With the fall of Aleppo and Damascus, the Ottomans secured control over Syria, opening the way to Egypt. The final blow, the Battle of Dania. In January 1517, Selim led his forces into Egypt, determined to crush the remnants of Mamluk resistance. The Mamluks, now led by Sultan Tumen Bey II, prepared for a final stand near Cairo. At Dania, just outside the city, Tumen Bey set up defenses along a narrow front, hoping to nullify the Ottoman advantage in artillery. But Selim, ever the strategist, outmaneuvered the Mamluks. He sent a portion of his army on a flanking maneuver, bypassing the Mamluk lines and attacking them from behind. Ottoman cannons once again tore through the Mamluk ranks, and the Janissaries pressed their advantage with relentless precision. The Mamluks were decisively defeated, and Cairo fell soon after. Tumen Bey attempted to rally resistance in the countryside, but was captured and executed. With his death, the Mamluk Sultanate came to an end, and Egypt was incorporated into the Ottoman Empire. Aftermath: the Ottoman Caliphate. The campaign against the Mamluks marked a turning point in Ottoman history. With the conquest of Egypt, Selim gained control over the rich Nile Valley, the Levant, and the Arabian Peninsula, including the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. The Sharif of Mecca submitted to Ottoman rule, and Selim was formally recognized as the Caliph, the spiritual and political leader of the Islamic world. The Ottomans now controlled the pilgrimage routes to Mecca and the lucrative spice trade, cementing their position as the dominant power in the Middle East. Cairo became a major administrative center for the empire, and Ottoman rule brought stability to the region after decades of Mamluk decline. Next episode, the naval wars with Portugal. While Selim consolidated his gains, a new challenge loomed on the horizon. In the Indian Ocean, the Portuguese Empire had established a foothold, disrupting Muslim trade routes and threatening the flow of pilgrims to Mecca. The Ottomans, now guardians of the Islamic world, would face a new kind of war, one fought not on land but across the seas. The story of the Ottoman-Portuguese naval conflict would become the next chapter in the empire's rise as a global power.